I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
Anyone claiming that America's economy is in decline is peddling fiction.
I've abandoned free market principles to save the free market system.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Raising the debt ceilings does not increase our debt. It does not somehow promote profligacy.
I know words. I have the best words. Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why I alone can fix it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Peddling Fiction Podcast. I am your host, the voice and soul of so-called fiction, Johnny Profita. And back with me, getting this week started off right. But we got a lot of crazy news to talk about today. Is Justin Hillbilly Boyd Campbell. How you doing over there? It looks like you're on the other side of the world or something, and it's nighttime.
It's the right time of day that too much light comes through this door, and I don't know if it's distracting for you, but it's super distracting for me, so I just cover everything up. Also, if I turn the lights out, you can see how dark it is. Like, this is perfect for me when I'm like sleeping during the day on my days off or on my days that I'm working. And I talked about this on a Facebook post a week or so ago. Like several months ago, I started sleeping out here in the garage instead of sleeping in the house. And it has made a world of difference. Like I thought that I was doing fine with like 2 or 3 hours of sleep a day, and moving out here and actually getting like 5 or 6 good solid hours of sleep consecutively has made a world of difference for just like my enthusiasm for doing shit. And like apparently you do actually need to sleep. Who would have known? At least when you get our age. I don't know about maybe when I was younger, I probably got away with it a lot better, but now I've got to have the sleep, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not good at sleeping, unfortunately. And you too. I take a lot of naps now these days. I'm pretty good at napping, but I am not good at sleeping through the night. And apparently that's really good for you when you get at least, 8 hours of sleep to me would just be ridiculous. If I get 5, I'm like pretty happy.
The Roseanne couch here is really good for afternoon naps. And the 25-year-old recliner over my shoulder, that's also pretty good for naps. My wife got married. Chair is so old and we need to get rid of it. I was like, I've had that chair since I was 16. I will get rid of you and all of the kids before I get rid of that chair. That stays.
Oh man, yeah, it does look like a living room for like an old grandpa.
That is me. I have definitely hit old grandpa status, and I'm totally happy. I realized that yesterday. Like, it's like, oh, what am I going to do when I get home? Oh, I think I'm going to sit down, have a cup of coffee, turn on the news, and read something, and just kind of relax. I'm like, fuck, I'm for real old.
Yeah. Well, we are officially over the hill, so I think it's doing a whole lot of nothing is very appealing these days.
Next Monday, I'll be 41. So,
no shit.
Yeah,
You're getting up there, man.
it's coming.
I'm freshly 40. So, anyway, where should we start today?
We ended with Daniel Penny, the manslaughter charge being dismissed on Friday. So I guess we could start with the what was it? Negligent homicide charge that was the lesser of the two offenses. That the jury deliberated on that yesterday and gave their verdict, and that came back as a not guilty, which is excellent, but it also raises a lot of questions, right? So did you pay attention to a whole lot of the charges and what the charges would have meant and everything else?
Actually, no. I've just kind of been paying attention to the reaction to the verdict.
Okay, so the manslaughter charge from Friday, which was the first charge, is a Class C felony. It would have held anywhere from 5 to 15 years in jail, given that it's New York. Almost guaranteed they'd have given him, like, they'd have thrown the book at him, they'd have given him the max 15 years. In deliberation, the jury could not come to a verdict, so they had a hung jury. The defense was moving for a mistrial, and instead of granting the mistrial, the prosecution moved that the charge just be dropped entirely. And in what, from everything that I've read, is kind of an unprecedented move, the judge granted that and dropped the charge for manslaughter, which then meant that, and then dismissed for the weekend, meaning that the jury would have the weekend to think on the second lighter charge, which was the negligent homicide. The negligent homicide is a Class F felony, which carries a maximum 4-year prison sentence. The concerns about the way this was done was everybody who, like, a lot of legal experts that were looking at this were like, okay, so if they come back on Monday and, you know, they're hung on the more severe charge, so they're trying to basically give the jury an out to find him guilty on the lesser charge, so you still get him on something. The legal experts, like, their concern with this was, what this means is now this gives the DA and prosecutors an excuse to overcharge on different stuff, and then just move to dismiss, if it doesn't look like it's going your way, move to dismiss the higher charge and pin a lower charge on people, so you can still get convictions on stuff, even if you're, like, overcharge and then, you know, deliver something. And then this is the crazy part, because usually the way this goes is, if the higher charge is something that they can't come to an agreement on, they can definitely agree that, like, okay, well, he might not have committed manslaughter, but he definitely committed, negligent homicide. Except that then they came back on the negligent homicide and straight up gave a not guilty verdict. So nothing about this makes any fucking sense whatsoever, except that justice is actually served, and Daniel Penny is not going to do any jail time other than, you know, whatever he's served.
Time served, right?
Yeah. Waiting for all this to play out.
Yeah, it is a little surprising that the negligent homicide. I mean, I don't know what the qualifications for that are.
Effectively the same. So that was another one of the things that I looked up, and, like, the stipulations, the things that would qualify and make it manslaughter are effectively the exact same stipulations and qualifications that make for a negligent homicide. So this was the right verdict. If you could not say for certain that he was guilty of homicide, then you also should not have been able to say for certain that he was guilty of manslaughter. Then you should also not have been able to say for certain that he was guilty of negligent homicide, because the stipulations are effectively the exact same for the two. So the verdict makes sense from that. But why were they hung on the Friday deliberation? Right. That's the weird thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. Excuse me. The it is excuse me. God damn, got a frog in my throat. Tied one off last night. I got a buddy back in town. What was I going to say? Well, so, like, yeah, I mean, the reaction to this has just been absolutely insane. I don't know if people are even capable of making legitimate comparisons anymore. Are people just that retarded where they don't know how to, like, come up with a proper analogy?
Here's some of the headlines that have come out of this from Daniel Penny acquittal sends a dangerous message that New Yorkers can kill someone on the subway without accountability, according to a Democrat New York City council member. Daniel Penny is not a hero, says the New York City comptroller. Like, everything about the way that the left and mainstream media have reacted to this are absolutely insane. And then on top of that, you get the BLM reaction to it, which is maybe even more insane. Hawk Newsom, uncle to Hawk Tua, says,
We need some black vigilantes.
That's right.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
Right.
sorry, buddy, I don't think that he was jumping up and choking him for being loud. He was choking him for violently threatening other members of the on the subway and saying that he would kill somebody and didn't care if he went back to jail. That's that's a little different than just being loud.
Yeah, the way they frame it's absolutely ridiculous. And why on God's green earth do they keep fucking standing up for the biggest pieces of shit, dude? Like, I'm sorry. Read the fucking I guarantee you the reason why they couldn't come up with a guilty verdict. This guy was fucking whacked out of his mind on, was it ketamine?
I think that's right.
Yeah. He's pumped full of fucking ketamine. He's a lunatic. He's been arrested, I don't know, a dozen times?
Over 40 times.
Okay. Over 40 times. Oh, yeah. Salt of the earth. Give you the shirt off his back kind of a guy. Let's stand up for this. Like, what kind of a society do you want? And they just keep calling him a special needs. Oh, a special needs guy was lynched on the train. What the fuck are you talking about?
I think the special need that he had was met. Just
yeah,
saying.
Like, he's a schizophrenic. Okay, that's even scarier then. You don't know what the fuck he's gonna do. So he's certifiably crazy. He's on drug. Like, I guarantee you, he didn't die from the fucking chokehold, dude. It's like,
yeah, well, they said that he had other, like some other unusual health issue that is why the chokehold ended up being fatal. Like, it wasn't that Daniel Penny was trying to choke him out and kill him. It was that the drugs and some other like health issue caused it to be fatal.
Right.
But
like, this is not a fatal like a chokehold is not a very fatal thing to a way of killing somebody 9 times out of 10. I'm trying to figure out how long it takes to strangle somebody.
They said that he held him in the chokehold for about 8 minutes.
Yeah. Unconsciousness within 10 seconds. So it's weird. Like, why didn't he fucking pass out?
He was all jacked up on Mountain Dew, or ketamine in this case.
Right. Or, yeah. And who knows, like, what like 4 to 5 minutes, it says you can kill someone. So, like, dude, yeah, that's long enough to kill somebody, I guess. But it's like, you would think the lack of oxygen would cause any normal person to pass out within seconds. That's why when you see somebody getting choked in the UFC or something, they tap out, or they don't tap out and they go unconscious, and then the fight stopped. If he had just gone unconscious after 10 seconds, then the chokehold's over. The situation has been resolved. Yeah, it's pretty hard to fucking strangle somebody to death. It's like the whole thing is fucking ridiculous, man. The fact that there's the percentage of people in society that are outraged over this guy walking free from this incident versus and expressing the same amount of outrage that I know we'll get into it a little later, that the killer of the healthcare CEO is in custody now, is way too high. There's a percentage, I don't know what the percentage of the population is, but based on Twitter reactions and things, there's way too many people that want to live in a society where drugged out schizophrenics can go around threatening people in and out of prison 40 times, dude. I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm more of a 3 strikes and you're out kind of a guy. I don't care, dude. I don't care if, like, your 40th arrest was stealing a bag of fucking Doritos. Life in prison. I'm sorry. You had 39 other chances to not be in fucking prison and to become a productive member of society. Yeah, maybe he bring back these insane asylums. Maybe he needs to be in there. I'm sorry, dude. You can't just be walking around society being one of these people. He punched a bunch of women. in subways and things like that before. Like, why would anybody want to live in a society where this kind of behavior is acceptable and nobody can stop it? I mean, dude, imagine the message that's people are already afraid to intervene in these kinds of situations because look what this guy had to go through. He had to spend over a year and a half in fucking prison. He could have spent life in prison if there wasn't a couple of people, at least one person on this jury, unwilling to cave to threats, these protesters that are outside the fucking courthouse and everything like that. I mean,
well, and like somebody said on Twitter, like, thank God for, modern technology. If it hadn't been for somebody with a cell phone recording this, where you saw the entire thing play out and you knew exactly what happened, all you would know and all we would know and think is this dude was just lynch this guy. He was straight up he's a white supremacist murderer that just choked some dude out for no reason other than he wanted to kill a black guy on the subway. Like, you would think he's the worst human being on the planet if you didn't actually have video evidence that showed what really happened. Just because we've got cell phones and somebody happened to be recording.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the framing of is just, it's cartoonishly ridiculous. He's just a special needs Michael Jackson impersonator, minding his own. He just stood up and he was being loud. And so this white supremacist was just we just can't accept black people in society. We just had to lynch him on the train. A lynching. That's what this was. Yeah. Okay. You fucking read. And by the way, dude, Black Lives Matter. How are they even still a thing? Didn't they get busted for fucking stealing like $40 million?
Yes.
Buying a bunch of houses and stuff. These people are pieces of shit. Fuck you and your stupid fucking movement. You're all a bunch of fucking crooks. I'm sorry. Let's riot in the streets now because a drugged out fucking schizophrenic who is attacking people, who has a history of attacking people, was threatening people, threatening to kill people on the train. We're just supposed to let that go? That's the society you want to live in? Absolutely ridiculous, dude. Thank God this guy got off. I'm sorry. And to compare, like, people can't make legitimate. They're like, well, Kyle Rittenhouse's name is coming up again now. I guess maybe that's in relationship to the guy that killed the CEO of United Health. But like, what? How are these things the same? Kyle Rittenhouse is being attacked by a mob of people. It's like the dude pulled a gun on him.
All right, so
the guy tried to crack him in the head with a fucking skateboard.
Well, no,
that's the same.
And like, here's the thing. The thing that they always do is the way that they're covering Jordan Neely, the guy who had 42 fucking had been arrested 42 times for this sort of behavior. Like, these are all the pictures that they use of him. Like, pictures that are 10, 15 years old when he was, had a record, and there's no indication that he didn't actually have a record when any of these pictures were taken. He was just doing, stuff that didn't involve consistently beating women and harassing people and stealing stuff and going to jail. Like, these are the pictures that they've used in every fucking article, at least every article on NBC, ABC, MSNBC, CNN, like all of the big.
Where's the cap and gown picture of him being, an honor roll student? I'm sure, right? Like the obligatory cap and gown. Here he is with grandma after graduating 8th grade or something. It's so fucking ridiculous, dude. There's testimony from like the first responders on the scene. They didn't even want to fucking touch this guy. Like, I'm not performing CPR on him. My guys aren't getting Hep C to try to bring this guy fucking. That's like a direct quote, if I believe, from the testimony of people that were on the scene. Daniel Penny held this guy, touched him for fucking 8 minutes, which is pretty, like, I wouldn't want to do that either. And we're going to fucking throw this guy in prison for the rest of his life. Ridiculous, dude. Nobody wanted to fucking touch this diseased, disgusting, drugged out fucking lunatic. I'm sorry. That's what he is. Removed from society one way or another is the way these people need to be fucking treated. It has nothing to do with his skin color. But it's like, oh, well, why aren't any? There was a video circulating of like a crazy white dude yelling at an Asian guy on the train. They're like, nobody intervened in this one. Why didn't they choke him out? It's like, yeah, why didn't they? Why do you think? Because you fucking throw people in prison for a year and a half, and they have to risk everything. They have to risk their entire lives to get involved. You could do life in prison. If not, let's say you get off. Okay, now you got to pay for all these fucking lawyers. You got to go to court. Your life is fucking ruined because you intervened to help somebody on a train. Had somebody choke, again, not a valid comparison because nobody choked them out. If somebody did choke him out, I'd be fucking clapping and awarding that guy hero status too. I don't want crazy fucking people abusing innocent citizens on trains, any public transportation for that matter. Like, who wants to live in that society? It's crazy. But yeah, nobody intervened. 99.9% of the time, nobody intervenes in these things because they're afraid to get involved. Like, yeah, okay. Crazy, drugged out white dude in and out of prison 40 fucking times. I want him to be removed from society as well. I wouldn't let it get to 40. Believe me. In the utopia that I would create, after his third arrest, he's done. I don't care what it was for. I'm sorry. 3 arrests. And obviously we're not talking about like, all these ridiculous laws that we have on the books for like non-violent victimless crimes or things like that. But if you're fucking abusing property rights 3 times, yep, you're done. I don't know what I'm doing with you, but you're not going to be on a fucking train anytime soon. At least not the public transportation ones.
Well, now in the aftermath of this, we've got the family coming forward and talking all this dumb shit. Like, you got his dad. I just want to say I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. It really, really hurts. I've had enough of this. The system is rigged. Dude, by all accounts, this dude hasn't seen his son in 15 years or more. Like, okay, you're correct. Your son didn't have to go through this, and you didn't have to go through this either. If you had just been around and been an actual father and parent instead of being a complete deadbeat piece of fucking shit who only showed up to sue Daniel Penny for damages after your son is already dead. Like, fuck the fuck off. But then you've got these more of the family members coming to say like dumb bullshit. Where'd I put that one? Right there. All right.
Because to be real, they didn't even try. Once the lesser charge was removed, they came back an hour later and said it was deadlock. Less than an hour and 20 minutes later, they said not guilty. These wonderful white people, I hope they celebrate their Christmas while the Neely family is praying and asking God for comfort. Goddamn that and goddamn America.
You can always anytime. Nobody's making you stay. Actually, you should probably move to Canada. I'm sure that'll work out really well whenever Trump annexes Canada here in a couple of years. We'll get to that in a minute, though.
Yeah, I mean, dude, there's plenty of legitimate instances for these people to take up as their cause. Why they get involved? Like, how could you possibly view this in any other way than the way we're portraying it? I'm sorry, dude. You have to be a fucking crazy person. Dude also attempted a kidnapping of a 7-year-old on the subway back in 20. Okay, yeah. Heart of gold. Heart of fucking gold. And by the way, if he is really a special needs, just a poor special needs guy that needed to be okay, Dad. What were you doing? Why are you letting your special needs kid wander the fucking streets, addicted to drugs? What kind of parenting is that? Parents are, dude, this comes up a lot too when there's like mass shootings and things like that. Like, what are we going to do? Like, should the parents be fucking punished for this? Your kid gets arrested 40 fucking times. I'm sorry, man. I'm bringing charges on you too. Get your fucking kids under control. It's ridiculous, man. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Attempted, the 7-year-olds punching people in the fucking subway. I don't care if I go back to prison. Yeah, okay, well. We have plenty of people. Why are we so worried about losing a person like this?
Now they're doing the no justice, no peace bullshit. It's like justice would have been for this motherfucker to have not been on the streets to begin with. Yeah, that's your justice. Why are y'all not concerned about the fact that a guy with over 40 arrests is just wandering the streets, being a delinquent and harassing other people? Like, you don't care about that. You care about the guy that stopped him. Like, Why didn't anybody in his family stop him? Why didn't anybody in his family do something about it? Like, where the fuck were y'all for the last 15 years since he's been racking up all these charges and stuff?
Yeah. And I mean, like, I haven't watched the video in a while, but like weren't there people of color involved in subduing him as well? Yeah. Yeah. So like, what the fuck, dude? This guy was clearly out of control. Clearly out of control. It has nothing to do with fucking Black Lives Matter, skin color, injustice. Like, what sort of a justice system would it be if you take down a guy who's threatening to kill people, who's made good on a lot of these threats in the past, who's clearly unstable, and you go to fucking prison for life for that? That's the justice system we want? I'm sorry, dude. This is absolutely insane. These people have no fucking credibility. None. Fucking ridiculous, man. Yeah, start rioting. Okay. Yeah, that'll really help your cause. Fucking people, man. They're so tone deaf. It's unreal, man. Well,
like I said, they could all just like move to Canada and then they don't have to deal with this unfair justice system. I'm sure Canada and Mexico have much more. I'm sure Mexico is where they should go. Gosh, imagine the justice system in Mexico on these people. That would really work out well. A Mexican prison is probably the last place anybody ever wants to end up.
Yeah, that would not be fun. Also, dude, like that, if somebody's going crazy like that in Mexico, dude, the whole crowd would beat the shit out of you, and cops aren't even fucking bringing you into custody. I'm sorry, dude. There'll be some fucking street justice. You go around punching fucking old ladies in the subway.
Try that.
Shit doesn't fucking fly. Yeah, they testified. I remember, there's like an old black lady who was like, yeah, dude, I was like scared to death. It's like, yeah, dude, doesn't matter. Like, find me more examples. For whatever reason, it's really hard to find examples of white people doing this shit on public transportation. Find me some more examples of that. Find me an example of somebody intervening and choking them out. I'm fine with it. I'm absolutely fine with it. I mean, I'd be fine with even more lethal forms of defense than choking. That was like the way of resolving the problem that is like the least likely to end in death. You know, like if you really wanted to kill somebody because you're a white supremacist, that's not the way to do it. It's not the way you do it. Yeah, especially if you're a trained killer. Like, this guy's a fucking former Marine, right? Okay. Yeah, that's the way they teach you to, lay down on the ground with him and hug him for 8 minutes. Like, that's the way a white supremacist kill somebody? No, I'm sorry, dude. You'd be bashing his fucking head into the fucking floor or something if you were really a white supremacist hell-bent on killing somebody. Or you'd use a weapon.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, idiots. Jesus Christ. Your Syria just became available. Yeah, I mean, dude, there should be like a program for all these people that are, goddamn America. Okay, yeah. You want to go see how it is in other places? You want to go take a little a guided tour? You could be like those people that backpacked through what was it, Iran or something, Afghanistan, to prove that it's a nice peaceful country. Ended up being fucking killed. Okay. Yeah. See how that justice system works out for you. Idiots. Oh, this is Trump. No, let's do it.
We're subsidizing Canada to the tune of over $100 billion a year. We're subsidizing Mexico for almost $300 billion. We shouldn't be subsidizing. Why are we subsidizing these countries? If we're going to subsidize them, let them become a state. We're subsidizing Mexico, and we're subsidizing Canada, and we're subsidizing many countries all over the world. And all I want to do is I want to have a level, fast, but fair playing field.
Did you see on Truth Social where Trump referred to Trudeau as the mayor or as the governor?
Yeah, I did see that. Dude, I'm sorry. He's fucking. I disagree with him on all these tariffs, but he's fucking hilarious. There's just no way around it. And people are getting triggered. Like, this is so rude. If Biden had done that, Biden's not fucking funny enough to come up with that. Like, It's just fucking hilarious. Yeah, the governor.
It was a pleasure to have dinner the other night with Governor Justin Trudeau of the great state of Canada. I look forward to seeing the governor again soon so that we may continue our in-depth talks on tariffs and trade, the results of which will be truly spectacular for all. DJT.
Yeah, it's so fucking funny, dude. Especially to make fun of Trudeau's fucking bitch ass, dude. That guy's such a tool. So, yeah, this is hilarious, dude. Donald Trump's bringing back some good old-fashioned bullying. It's great. Need a lot more of it. And yeah, Trudeau's a fucking tool. These tariffs I think are absolutely ridiculous. I love how all these like economically retarded leftists are like pointing out that they like, I guess Trump, and I don't know if it was in that interview where he's like, yeah, I can't guarantee that prices for things won't go up. And they're like, see, we told you, look at this. We tried to warn you. It's like, yeah, dude, imagine thinking that like predicting that a tariff would increase the price of goods, thinking that that's like some profound economic revelation. It's like, oh yeah, wow, thank you for that. Yeah, another tax would increase the. Thank you. Yeah, hang on, let me write that one down. Congratulations, you passed Econ 101. Fucking idiots.
Well, speaking of Trump and his mean posts and everything that he does, it's just absolutely hilarious. Did you see the pictures of Jill Biden gazing longingly at him?
I did not see this.
Here are my new Trump perfumes and colognes. I call them Fight, Fight, Fight because they represent us winning. Great Christmas gifts for the family. Go to gettrumpfragrances.com. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
He has is this legit? He's got a Trump cologne now?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. He's so goddamn fucking. There's a Trump everything. Trump water, Trump steaks, Trump's Fight, Fight, Fight cologne.
Yeah, he posted this on Truth Social.
God damn it. Wish he would just get back on fucking Twitter, dude. Sell out on that fucking stock and get back on Twitter. Cash in on your fucking. Where's that stock at these days? Should we check it? Fight, fight, fight. I don't know why he decided to make a cologne out of that. That's a weird way to go with it, but
do what you got to do, man.
Yeah. DJT. Let's take a look. $35 a share.
Oh shit. Hang on. I got to pull this back up. Check this out. These are pretty badass. Check out the bottles for these.
Oh, I thought that was like a statue. Okay. Trump. What website is this?
GetTrumpFragrances.com.
Oh my God, dude.
Spectacular.
Yeah, the guy knows how to fucking hawk merchandise, that's for sure. Dude, could you imagine if becoming a state would literally just be the dumbest thing. I don't know why Puerto Rico wants to become a state so badly. It's like, you really want to take on your share of 36 trillion and counting?
If anybody wants to get me a Christmas/birthday present, since my birthday's next week and Christmas is the week and a half later, the Victory 47 Trump cologne for men, that I will take that. Just hit me up with. I'll just send you my address.
You got to pre-order it. It's not ready yet. They're still coming up with it. $200. Is that a good price for? I don't buy cologne.
I have no idea. I haven't had any cologne since. For some reason, when I was in high school, all my aunts would always give me they'd get us the Nautica and the Calvin Klein and the good cologne. Yeah.
Cologne is a big deal in high school.
My aunts always got me the good stuff, and I would go to the store and look and see what it was, and I mean, I guess 200 is good. I guess considering inflation and the stuff that they would get us when we were in high school with on $70 or $80, I guess $199 isn't bad now.
Especially since it's Trump merch too.
Right, I would never actually use it. I just want to put I just want to display the bottle somewhere that it'll be on screen anytime that we're doing a show.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, I don't understand this obsession with wanting to be a state, just so you can get, like he's saying, we're subsidizing all of the federal government is subsidizing all of these fucking states. that could not live within their means. But like, how much longer do you think that's going to be able to go on when you have $36 trillion in debt? Yeah, maybe we can. We'll get the listeners to crowdfund a gift for you. Everybody chip in, get a birthday / Christmas gift for the hillbilly boy. Dude, birthday right around Christmas, man. That sucks.
It sucks if your birthday is before Christmas in December, but if your birthday is after Christmas in January, then you get the double dip. At least that's the way it works for both of the daughters.
Yeah, my old man's January, like mid-January. But you know, he hasn't won anything anyway. Maybe I'll get him the Donald Trump cologne. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Pre-order. When's it going to be ready? Come on, Trump, get this stuff out there. I've had a couple of months to get that fucking bottle ready. What was the last assassination attempt? That was was that in July?
I don't remember.
The first one, the fight one?
Yeah, this is the...
God damn, dude, this year's going by fast. Oh, boy.
Estimated shipping date is March.
Yeah, okay, that's not going to work. I can get mom's birthday.
There you go. Get your mom the perfume.
I don't think she would really like that, but...
You don't think your mom would want this on her, like, sitting on her vanity?
No. Not even a little bit. Victory 47. Oh, shit. Well, anyway, yeah, I don't want Canada or Mexico to be a state. I'd rather take Mexico, but yeah. So imagine trying to escape Donald Trump by going to Mexico only to become a state. Oh God, yeah, that would be fucking weird. That would be very weird. I don't think there's a lot of, like I said, dude, Puerto Ricans, the dumbest thing you could do would be to become a state. Why are you jumping on board a sinking ship right now?
Maybe we can like swap, and we'll take Mexico as a state, and we'll just let Canada have Chicago.
I don't think Trump might not realize how big Mexico is. It's enormous, dude. It can't be one state.
Well, like Canada is enormous too, but all of the people live in like a little small area. There's like, so most of Canada is just like landmass with nobody there.
Yeah. So there's a reason we're not queuing up the shithole Chicago music, because for once Chicago might be doing something right.
One can only hope.
Go ahead and read that for everybody.
I don't know if it's necessarily Chicago doing it right so much as Tom Homan doing it right to Chicago, but Chicago to be ground zero for mass deportations, Trump border czar tells Illinois Republicans. Tom Homan made his remarks at a Northwest Side GOP holiday party. He also warned Mayor Brandon Johnson about the deportation plan, saying if he doesn't want to help, get the hell out of the way. There's been some interesting like stories and stuff coming out of Chicago over the past couple weeks as well, and which we had talked about this previously with all the folks on like the south side of Chicago who were really pissed off about the amount of money and housing that was being done for illegals instead of helping the actual residents of the south side of Chicago. So there's been some interesting stories coming out of the south side of people like basically saying, fuck Brandon Johnson. We will 100% help round all these people up so you can deport every last fucking one of them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, fuck Brandon Johnson. Fuck Pritzker. We want them out.
Oh, yeah, dude. Pritzker is such a fucking fat tub of shit, worthless shit, dude. It's unbelievable. I don't know how these people keep getting like elected, and like, what is going on? Yeah, they might have finally caught their limit with Brandon Johnson after Lori Lightfoot is just like, okay, we're finally getting it. And yeah, imagine like Chicago is such a shithole that it has to be ground zero for the border czar. Like that is, we got to start mass deportation somewhere. Where should we do it? Chicago. Yeah, it's so bad over there that's where we should start. That's the fucking ground zero of the infestation.
They could probably start in New York City because Mayor Eric Adams has been pretty vocal about wanting to do something about the illegal immigrant problem in New York. But I mean, Chicago is getting pretty restless about the situation as well. So either way you go, I think it's gonna.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what's been happening in New York, like taxes wise, but like as we went over the tax increases in a previous episode in Chicago, it's like, dude, it's fucking ridiculous, man.
And it's all to fund this shit.
Right. And that's why the people are like, yo, you keep fucking raising my property taxes and all these other excise taxes, and we're not getting any benefits from it. It's just going to house illegal immigrants. It's ridiculous. I can't blame them for being upset, but like, I do blame them for staying there. Like, you should leave, get out of that fucking city. It's fucking, even the sales tax is one of the highest in the country too. It's like 10.5% or something. It's crazy. Like, there's just and then another 35% tax on fucking booze.
I can't believe like every county outside of Cook and the surrounding like Chicagoland area counties haven't petitioned to be allowed to break away and join other states. Like, join Indiana and join Missouri and like
Wisconsin or something. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, the surrounding areas aren't anything to write home about either. But at least tax wise, like Wisconsin's sales tax is much cheaper.
Well, it's like there's a lot of Southern Illinois that is 100% farm country, but they have to live under the same bullshit as Chicago with all of the taxes, all of the like all of the gun restrictions and everything else. Like, it's insane and especially like for me growing up in Kentucky, right on the other side of the river, and then now here growing up in living in Indiana, just across the state line. It's like, to go to Illinois from Indiana or from Kentucky, it's like going to a whole other fucking country. Like, the way that their rules are on guns and the taxes, and like as soon as you cross that line, the price of everything goes up by at least $1. Like, gas is 45 cents more expensive in Illinois than it is in either Kentucky or Indiana. Like, it's just fucking insane.
Yeah. I remember people used to like drive to Indiana to buy cigarettes.
There are giant ass signs when you cross over about prosecution for bootlegging cigarettes across state lines.
Yeah. And fireworks too. That was another big one.
Yeah. It's nuts.
You got to go to Wisconsin or something to buy your fireworks and try not get caught bringing them back. It's like, I'm sorry. I thought this was fucking America. Guns, fireworks, and cigarettes. Let's go. Fuck out of here, man. Yeah. I'll never understand, man. Go visit Chicago in the summer for like a long weekend or something. But other than that, don't take public transportation. They have a good public transportation system in Chicago. Like, it's very user friendly. It's very accessible. Like, if it wasn't, if it didn't go to shit because of fucking the Jordan Neelys of the world, it would be very useful. Like, it's very easy to get around Chicago using public transportation, but it was disgusting the last couple times I used it. And the whole fucking city, man, just a shithole.
Well, that's like the only time I've really used public transportation consistently was when I was living in Philadelphia, or not Philly, when I was like 30 miles north of Philly. And so I would take like the train into Philly, and you could get a day pass for like $25 and just use all the public transportation while you were there. And like the trains that come in from the more affluent suburbs in like surrounding Philadelphia are really nice. And then as soon as you get into the city and you get off the train and you go to get on like the bus or on the subway or something, it's just like absolute trash. Like, everything is disgusting and shitty. And it's like, ugh. Well, I mean,
yeah, man. I am fucking like done with big cities. I just like, I lived in, the Chicago area almost my entire life, with the exception of college, and then in the actual city for 15 years or whatever it was. And it's just like, Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good on the big city shit. I'll go visit. Unfortunately, there are like, good restaurants and things like that you can only get that kind of stuff by going into a big city. But, man,
It's easier to make a day trip and go to a restaurant than to have to live with that like every
right. Yeah, or just living in like a fucking a shoebox in the sky in some fucking city, and just like not a very appealing lifestyle to me.
Well, you might not be the only one done with big cities. I wonder how long it'll take before some of these other like CEO types are done with the big cities.
Yeah. So, oh boy, a scourge on Italians. Turns out Luigi Mangione, a paisan, is a person of interest now, and they've taken him into custody. It sounds like this guy just wanted to get arrested. Did he essentially turn himself in? Or is this a conspiracy?
Man, everything about this has been fucking nuts. So there are like the videos of him like taking his mask off to smile and be catty with a barista at like a Starbucks or something. And then like an hour and a half later is when he goes and supposedly guns down this United Healthcare CEO and then rides away on a fucking
charm like that.
And then like rides away on a fucking bicycle. And then a few days later, some chick working the register at a fucking McDonald's calls the cops because she thinks that this guy who's sitting at the McDonald's looks like the guy from the pictures, all of these pictures that are really very clear who, what the person looks like. But anyway, this like the most attentive McDonald's cashier on the planet notices that this dude looks like the guy from these pictures and calls the cops, and he just proceeds to sit there and work on his laptop until the cops show up. And then they find that he's got like a ghost gun that matches the description of the gun that was used. He's got a fake ID that was used at a hotel the night before the shooting. He's got like $8,000 in US dollars and another $2,000 in like foreign currency on him. He's got a Faraday bag, which he ended up, he said at his like arraignment hearing or whatever, that the Faraday bag was just a waterproof bag. It wasn't like a signal blocking bag. And he also said that all of the cash, like he doesn't know where that came from. He thinks that was planted. I don't know. Everything about this is just fucking insane.
Right. And it's just like, dude, if I had just, killed a CEO in broad daylight, essentially, I'm on camera. I'm running for my life. I'm sitting at a fucking McDonald's, and it was in Pennsylvania or something.
Yeah.
Where was it?
Okay.
Like you didn't get that far.
Yeah, it was outside of a Midtown Manhattan hotel was where he shot the guy, and then he was picked up somewhere around Philly, I think is what it was.
Oh, Philly, yeah.
Let's see. Okay, here you go. Luigi Mangione, the 26-year-old accused of gunning down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside a Midtown Manhattan hotel last week, considered the slaying to be a symbolic takedown of United Healthcare over perceived corruption, according to a confidential assessment of the crime by the NYPD Intelligence Bureau described to ABC News. Mangione appeared to view the targeted killing as a symbolic takedown and a direct challenge to its alleged corruption and power games, the assessment said. Mangione already described himself as the first to face United Healthcare with such brutal honesty. He had a manifesto on him as well.
Yeah, manifesto, gun, basically everything they need to convict this guy. He's just carrying on him. Days later, sitting at a McDonald's. Who the fuck goes to McDonald's and just sits there? Working on a computer? Go to a Starbucks, bro.
He's frustrated with the healthcare system in the United States, and specifically states how we are number one most expensive healthcare system in the world, yet the life expectancy of an American is ranked 42nd in the world.
Yeah, well, maybe don't eat at McDonald's. There's a start. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he's not wrong about the healthcare system being fucked up, but like, yeah, dude, I don't know. You can't just go around shooting people that work for the company. There's all these people that are outraged that that the McDonald's employee snitched on him, calling her a snitch. It's like, dude, I don't know, man. Again, what kind of a society do you guys want to live in? The one where people are just getting, assassinated in the street because you didn't like your healthcare coverage, which, by the way, government, is there any other industry that the government's more heavily involved in than healthcare?
I've changed my mind. I'm not on this guy's side anymore. I'm done with him. This is him at the McDonald's eating his hash brown and then putting his mask back on.
God.
I changed my mind. I'm out on him. He gets what he deserves.
Mask in between bites. What a fucking loser. But yeah, like, why? So to me, it's just like, this guy was it's either like a conspiracy and like there's something else like nefarious going on, or this guy is just like, all right, I'm going to essentially turn myself in. I'm going to go sit in this McDonald's wearing like the same clothes, carrying everything. And until somebody fucking reports me, I'm just going to sit here. Maybe he needed to get caught. He's just like, yeah, I don't want to be on the run. I want to get my cause out there kind of thing. I don't know. What do you think?
There are some rumors, theories, conspiracies going around with this about so like the silencer was deliberate. Hang on, let me find the post right quick. So this is take all of this with a grain of salt, obviously, but this is from like a 4chan thing. When this patsy is inevitably caught, it will turn out that the pistol was poorly worked P80 or some other 80% third-gen Glock frame kit, or a poorly printed FMDA or other 3D printed frame. They've already said it was 3D printed. It was assembled, built, and printed poorly intentionally by the feds who gave it to him. This is a two whammy jammy. First, to shut up the CEO in the event of an actual investigation into COVID. There's been talk that Trump is going to pursue what happened with that. I don't know if that's actually true, or at least people in Trump's cabinet are going to pursue what really happened with the COVID stuff. Like I said, I don't know that I actually believe that. Trump hasn't really seemed to want to admit any wrongdoing in a lot of the COVID stuff. Opening up investigations into it would admit to some wrong, so I can't really see that happening, but you never know. Second, this is to go after ghost guns even harder than they have been. And further, there's currently a suppressor case making its way through the courts, which aims to remove them from the NFA. It's going to end up at the Supreme Court. This is to generate preemptive public outrage and hopefully discourage the court from doing what's right. So, it was like the bump stock ban stuff. Like, if you can just get enough negative press out there about it, like, whoever thinks about suppressors? Nobody, ever. And then all of a sudden you get a CEO gunned down with a guy using a suppressor. Like, oh, now we put it in the spotlight. Used a ghost gun. They've been trying to generate the ghost gun boogeyman for years without really getting any success. Now here you've got a ghost gun. Like, it's hard not to think that some of this stuff is deliberate.
Yeah, those are some interesting things to consider, I suppose. I wonder if there's anything in the manifesto about that, or if it's all just about healthcare.
Magoo says the argument against suppressors is beyond retarded. It's literally additional evidence against him at this point. They should be applauding the fact that he used a suppressor.
Yeah, again, and also like, just I don't know, dude. You're on cam. Like, don't you look for cameras? I'd be looking around for cameras if I wanted to, kill somebody discreetly using a suppressor. I wouldn't do it on video. At least I try not to.
Another one of the interesting things that I've seen, I haven't looked this up in depth a whole lot, but apparently, like, okay, so you know how like whenever we get a shooter or something like a school shooter or some big incident that happens, and then you start looking at their like social media posts, and all of a sudden you start to find that over the last 2 or 3 months they've been posting on all of these like alt-right message boards or doing all this like saying all this like really crazy shit off the wall. Like apparently this guy had been writing like book reviews of Mein Kampf and like the Uncle Ted's books and stuff like that, like over the last couple months. Like they're creating this backstory for this, you know, crazy murder assassin, CEO assassin. Well,
it's interesting that their main target audience is so supportive of this guy. Like you'd think that, you know, the left, ghost guns, suppressors, they're not very supportive of those kinds of things, but they love this guy because he took down the evil rich dude. There's so much disdain for rich people in America. It's mind-boggling to me. But yeah, the evil healthcare guy.
And like almost nobody is particularly on the side of the United Health CEO in this. Like it's almost across the board. Everybody's like, yeah, well, I mean, that was bad, but also fuck that guy. Especially when you start looking into like the United Health stuff and you see that they had so much higher of a claim denial rate than all of the other insurance companies. Like that, they were going
twice, right. It was basically twice Blue Cross Blue Shields. We went over that on the last episode. Yeah. I mean, dude, it is fucked up. The whole industry is fucked up. But again, like, I don't know if we need to rehash the whole healthcare debacle in the US here, but it's just like, yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe we should try less government involvement for once. Like we've been going in this direction of the government getting more and more and more involved, taking more control, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. I name another industry that's like that in the free market where the service gets worse and more expensive. That just doesn't happen in a free market. It only happens when the government intervenes. Maybe we should try the other thing. And dude, there's just, I don't know, man. It seems hopeless because all the momentum is just going to be pushing towards, Barack Obama's goal with the Affordable Care Act, which was, universal health care, single payer horseshit, government involved. Yeah. So it's not going to get any better. You can kill all the CEOs you want. You're just going to make it worse if you don't have the right solution to these problems. I don't know, but yeah, there's the comparisons. These people are just incapable of basic logic and reasoning. They're just like, Kyle Rittenhouse's name is back up, and if Kyle Rittenhouse walks, like this guy should walk too. It's like, oh yeah, those were exactly the same scenarios. One guy was just walking down the street, and this guy shot him because he doesn't like the company that he works for. And Kyle Rittenhouse obviously was just a white supremacist killing a bunch of black people at a Black Lives Matter rally, right?
Well, okay, so like this is like the leftist lawmaker response to all of this stuff about like the insurance companies. Last year, the 7 largest private health insurers collected $1.39 trillion in profit. It's absurd that big insurance is raking in trillions while Americans are pinching pennies to afford treatment. We need Medicare for all now. That's the solution. Also, it was added. The context was added to it that the pharmaceutical company or the health insurers only made $70.7 billion in profits. The 1.4 trillion was the total. It was their total revenue, and it was only 70 billion in profits, which is still a lot. But like, this is their answer: is we need Medicare for all, right? Because of you do realize that it was Obamacare and the stuff that y'all have been putting in place that allowed the insurance companies to reach this point that they make this money. Also, and I know I've talked about this so many times. I can't believe that y'all are still listening to me say it. The insurance and like the medical, the medical lobby is literally the biggest one in all of Washington, D.C.
Well, and who do you think fucking wrote Obamacare? Right. It's a lobbyist. Right. They write these fucking bills. You idiots.
Right. The insurance company wrote Obamacare. Like, who do you think put this fucking thing in place? It wasn't a doctor. It wasn't Congress. It was the insurance lobbyists were the ones who put this in place. They did this exactly for this reason. But you think more of that is going to like fix the problem? You're a fucking moron.
Yeah, I would think that to Magoo's point, I would think their profits would be much higher. 70 billion on 1.39 trillion is not great, in my humble opinion. I would think they'd be making more money than that. But yeah, I mean, dude, they throw you like a couple of retarded bones that appeal to stupid people. Like, oh, pre-existing conditions are covered. Okay, well now you don't have insurance. Like that destroys the entire insurance model if you're forced to cover people that are already sick. That's not insurance at that point. And then it's like, oh, women used to have to pay so much more for health insurance than men, but now they pay the same rate. Okay, yeah. You know how much more health care women use than men? How many times do women go to the doctor a year? Even if it's just once. In the last 12 years, that's 12 more times than I've been to the fucking doctor. Like, men don't go to the fucking doctor unless they have like a broken limb. You know what I mean? Or when you're much older, obviously. You
even then, I'm gonna try to limp it off. Like if it wasn't for my wife dragging me to the emergency room, I'd have just thrown an ankle brace on and walked off a broken ankle. Like I wouldn't.
Yeah. Women should have to pay more, just like men pay more for like car insurance because they're more reckless. Women should pay more for health insurance because they use a lot more healthcare. That's just the fucking fact. But okay, yeah, now they pay the same price, so men just have to pay more for using less. But that appeals to a lot of people, the pre-existing condition thing and all that stuff. They make, dude, I remember the health insurance plans, you have to qualify for Obamacare. You have to be one of the qualified plans. It's like they had to, my mom's health insurance, post-menopausal mom had to pay for like fucking pregnancy shit and coverage in her healthcare, her health insurance plan. Like,
right,
what the fuck is that?
You got to have all this like required bullshit, like, and that's part of like the health insurance that you get through your like company policies and everything. Like if you actually sit down and read the benefits package and you look through all of the stuff during open enrollment for what your coverage actually covers, and you see what's required for them to cover. Like if I could just pick and choose the stuff that I might actually need, there's no way it would cost anywhere near what it does.
Catastrophic like life insurance, like young people under the age of like 40. Okay, yeah, you get hit by a car or something, or you get cancer. It's like, okay, yeah, that's very easy. That's very cheap to cover. They used to sell these things for like, $5 a year. like not that long ago, in like the 50s and 60s and shit, before all these like ridiculous government mandates. It was not hard to get coverage for catastrophic life insurance. But when you start covering things that are guaranteed to happen, it would be like if your car insurance covered oil changes and tire rotations and gas. It's like, no, you have to do these. Like these things are going to happen routinely. That's not what insurance is for. You should be paying out of pocket for that, and that will keep the cost down. If you have to insure against something that's guaranteed to happen, well, yeah, it's going to cost a lot more because you have to pay for the procedure and you have to pay for the insurance, all the insurance, like overhead and all that stuff for something that's guaranteed to happen year after year. That's not insurance, you fucking idiots. Like how? I can't believe this has to be explained to people. Like you insure against, okay, yeah, like your homeowner's insurance. What does that cover? It's like, okay, yeah, a fire, right? A robbery or something. It doesn't cover like your dishwasher breaking.
Right.
regular annual maintenance, like your maid coming to clean the house. It doesn't cover that.
And if you want something
retarded.
And if you want something that does cover that sort of thing, there are companies that offer those sorts of things, but they're also stupid expensive. Like,
right.
Yeah, you can.
Of course, because they're guaranteed to happen. So yeah, you're going to be paying a lot more to insure against something 100% chance of happening year after year. It's like the whole thing is ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. Let's just shoot the CEOs, I guess.
Well, we can end on a lighter and a happier note. Speaking of men seeking medical attention, usually whenever men retire from a job, that's when their health starts to go downhill. So Paul Krugman is probably going to be spending some time visiting with the doctor here, since he has decided to retire after 25 years as an opinion columnist for the New York Times.
Yes, Paul Krugman. What a loss this is. Just one of the greatest economists of all time. Correct about everything. Never made a bad prediction. It's like, this is the guy. I mean, they rag on him because what was his quote on the internet? He's like, in 20 years or something, the internet will have as much impact on the world as the fax machine. Something along those lines. Yeah, this is he is the poster boy for how worthless the Nobel Prize in economics is. He's a Nobel laureate who believes in every Keynesian economic fallacy there is. It's unbelievable, man.
Economist Paul Krugman wrote that by 2005, it would become clear that the internet's effect on the economy is no greater than that of the fax machines.
2005. Yeah, you nailed it. Fucking nailed it.
And
then,
this was fact checked true by Snopes. So it's you know for sure it happened because Snopes actually said so.
Snopes good. Right. He's also on record advocating for like a fake like space invasion or like an alien invasion to boost the economic activity. He's like, yeah, if we could just have like a space war, like a fake war where we just got we produced all of these weapons and goods and services geared toward attacking aliens and then never actually having the war. That would be great for the economy. Like allocating all of these resources to Yeah, I'm not making this stuff up, dude. This is what you get from the Nobel laureate. Let's have it's just so ridiculous, dude. An alien invasion will fix the economy. Because if we take all of these allocate all of our resources to an alien invasion that never happens, that somehow is going to be good. Yeah, I mean, it will look good in the GDP numbers, but like, okay, we've just misallocated trillions of dollars worth of resources towards something that's never going to happen. Yeah, so big loss there. Did you ever listen to the Counter Krugman podcast that Tom Woods and Bob Murphy used to do?
No, apparently Krugman changed his mind 5 years later. Paul Krugman calls off the fake alien invasion.
Yeah, he's just, I mean, and he's such a pompous prick too. He would always do you'd hear him talk about things and he's got this way of sounding intelligent, but the things he's saying are like absolutely be like, oh, if you do the arithmetic on this, no, it's a retarded Keynesian fallacy. All of these things that you believe in. And so the Contra Krugman podcast, Tom Woods and Bob Murphy used to do this. They would take his weekly column and just like shred it. Just shred every fucking economic fallacy that's in there. And it was just week after week, there was at least one major thing wrong with whatever he was writing about. It's just like, even, economists that they have trouble agreeing on things, but like the ridiculousness of his economic outlook was just, it was so funny to watch. Like Bob Murphy is just a great economist, just tear it apart. And, man, New York Times, 25 years, you could get, and a Nobel laureate, like just unbelievable, dude. he's one of these economists that signs off on like Kamala Harris's economic plan being great for the economy. He's like, all the economists agree. All these Nobel Prize winning economists, like, yeah, this is the guy, fake alien invasion guy, signed off on Kamala Harris's economic plan, saying it was going to be great.
How would you do better economically if you were just using the inverse Kramer, or if you were going full on like counter Krugman?
Yeah, inverse Kramer would be better in the short. Like, economic principles, they take a long time to play out, which is why economics is like, it's very good at predicting the ultimate outcome, but the timing out, like, you could be right, but it takes 25 years for the economic principles to actually rear their ugly head. So yeah, the inverse Kramer, which at one point was outperforming Nancy Pelosi.
Just like a month and a half ago, if even that.
Yeah, which is unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. But yeah, it is. Dude, it's such a fucking funny thing that everyone that's getting awarded for excellency in our society they're like contrarian indicators. Whatever they're being awarded for, do the opposite of what they say.
Speaking
and
of
you will be
stocks,
very successful.
Speaking of stocks, after the CEO got shot, the United Healthcare stock took a massive dump, and also there are rumors that Nancy Pelosi had bought quite a bit of United Healthcare prior, just prior to like the day or so before dude got shot, and then like after he got shot, it just like fell off the table. Now they're still up on the year, but like over the last week and the last month, it's way down.
Is this United Health Group Incorporated? Is that them?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it took about 100-point fucking nosedive in a couple of days. So,
poor Nancy. Couldn't happen to a better person.
Yeah. Dude, if you had some fucking puts on that, woo, big time fucking money. Wonder, yeah, that'd be interesting to see if anybody can find somebody taking those trades. But yeah, imagine having some fucking, some out of the money puts at like 580 or something, and dips down. Or I guess out of the money would have been 6 something, but yeah. Anyway, fortunes won and lost based on an assassination. It's interesting. You would think, dude, I mean, it's still up on Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, these stocks, I mean, dude, in 2020 at, the depths of the 2020 market crash, the COVID thing, it hit like $195 a share. Even after this huge pullback, it's at 564. Like, dude, the amount of cheap money that's being pumped into this fucking stock market is insane. I honestly don't know if, like, Warren Buffett's sitting on a huge pile of cash, and that's always been his modus operandi. Is he has a formula that tells you when the market's way too rich to be buying into it, so he sells, and he's usually a little early. He's usually like a few months before a major market correction. But like, dude, with the amount of inflation that's being created, I'm not so sure that you're actually going to get a huge correction in stock prices. Like, the nominal amount of these stocks might just keep going up. And it's just that the value of the dollar is tanking. And so your actual purchasing power is being eroded, but like the stock price might just, I mean, you might get like even like a 20% correction is like nothing. We'd still be at all-time highs. It's crazy, Yeah.
Speaking of inflation and the dollar, did you see Trump made a statement about BRICS and how like he's gonna fight back against BRICS, trying to get to remove the U.S. dollar, get the U.S. dollar not to be the main like world currency and stuff like that. And I don't know if that accomplishes anything, but that'll be something interesting and fun to kind of keep an eye on. We can talk more about that on Friday, because that
the dollar reserve reserve currency status. I mean, if the dollar was so great, you wouldn't have to force people into using it. That'd be my first reaction. Anytime you have to force people to do something, to use your product, maybe it's not the best thing out there. So yeah, and Bitcoin did sweep 100K. I don't know if we covered that on the last episode. We've had a bit of a pullback here to 95,000. So yeah, my guess is it's probably going to chop around in that range for a while, but I'd expect at some point a big pullback in crypto too. But who knows? I mean, they keep floating, like the crypto community just goes nuts every time it's in the news. And you have there's at least one person in government that put forth like a reserve currency, a reserve Bitcoin reserve bill or something. Has no co-sponsors or anything, but like that kind of shit, even just talking about it sends these fucking prices through the fucking roof. So we'll see. We'll see. Could you imagine if the fucking government starts buying Bitcoin, borrowing money to buy Bitcoin? That would be like, God, literally one of the dumbest things they can do. But so they might do it. You never know. Dude, you're like, it's pitch black where you're at right now. You can't even see you.
Sorry, I was looking at something.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, I think we've covered just about everything important today, right?
Yeah. I was trying to find the stuff that Trump was talking about with BRICS. I think I found it. I'll send it to you and we can talk about that on Friday because that's interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you got anything else going on this week?
Not that I can think of. I might do a live stream tonight or tomorrow night, but I haven't decided. My wife is working nights this week while I'm on my days off, so that'll be an interesting change of pace for me. Not to have her home at night when I'm actually home. Usually it's the other way around. So I don't know. I'll probably play a lot of video games and do some like solo content stuff. So.
Sounds good. So yeah, we'll be back on Friday. The brand new episode for you guys. Are we doing a 2:30 show?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
2:30 works for me on Friday. Yep.
It might be kind of. Can you go earlier?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go earlier if you can do. I think you just said you're not working.
Yeah, I go back to work Friday night, so I'll be available during the day on.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe let's go. If we can do like a noon one, that's probably better.
Works for me.
All right. Cool. So, yeah, until then, you guys know what to do. Just keep on peddling that so-called fiction. Peace.